it's been forgotten about because it's not talked about. Like, you don't see the media constantly talking about it. You never seen Biden give speeches about our fallen 13 or the wounded. There was 18 that were wounded.
Shanna didn't watch the State of the Union out of anger for the president, but her ex-husband was there as a guest for Florida Congressman Brian Mast.
I had friends, they were very subtle about it. Hey, did you watch the State of the Union? And I'm like, I can't watch Biden. You know what it does to me. And they're like, well, your ex was on there and he got arrested. I'm like, send me the clip.
Does it surprise you that Kareem's father would say this during the State of the Union?
I was actually surprised because he's normally pretty quiet. So I was shocked, and at the same time I was excited.
The father of the fallen Marine arrested and charged with crowding, obstructing, and disturbing Congress, a misdemeanor.
I think it was a bunch of BS that Kareem's father got arrested. He's a grieving father. He's a Gold Star dad. He should be allowed to say what he wants. He's in the room with the man we feel is responsible for our son's death.
Parents heartbroken by their son's death, happy what happened in Afghanistan is being talked about again.
By yelling out like that, he has brought attention back to our son. I can't speak for the other families, but I can speak for my son, and he's brought attention back to our son and what happened at Abbey Gate. And to me, that's something that's really important.
Unbelievably, this is just not a story we're hearing enough of. We've heard a lot about, since the State of the Union, we've heard a lot about, the media and the Democrats and all the other woke revolutionaries, how pissed off they are that Biden called a spade a spade. He called a murderer an illegal instead of coddling him as some undocumented migrant fleeing oppression, and America caused climate change, and we're just so happy that he's here. That's what he should have said. And that's essentially all we've heard of since the State of the Union happened. We've heard very little about a Gold Star parent of a fallen Marine who was essentially killed and then discarded and forgotten by the worst American foreign policy since the Bay of Pigs. And what you have not heard about him was that the powerful elites arrested him. They have held him accountable for interrupting the president of the United States. But guess how many people have been held accountable for the death of his son? Not one person has been fired. Not one person's been reassigned. No rank affected. No court-martials. Not even a note in any permanent records regarding our Afghanistan disaster. But actually, that's not true. One, Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller was charged and found guilty and essentially kicked out of the Marine Corps for daring to speak out about what he saw within his own ranks during the withdrawal, if you can even call it that. Pretty remarkable stuff. But somehow, the elites, they don't understand, and they just don't get it. And it's always somehow a surprise to them.
You have been critical of how President Biden has talked about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Tomorrow, he's going to be addressing a lot of global issues, probably in his State of the Union address. What do you want to hear from him about the 2 years ago, what happened to your daughter-in-law?
I want to hear how he's going to strengthen our armed forces and support them and answer our questions and lead to a thorough investigation like they promised so that we can move forward in a positive way and make it better.
President Biden, he's often called the consoler-in-chief. He does talk to families who have lost loved ones because of his own experiences. Have you experienced that from him as you've been coping with the death of Nicole?
No.
Have you spoken to him?
No, he has not reached out to our family. We've actually reached out to the White House and have never heard back. We asked to meet with them to kind of understand where their thinking was in calling this a success, and we've not received a response. It's been months. No, that's not been our experience at all.
Sorry to hear that. Chairman McCall.
Abby Phillips, man, he's often called the consoler-in-chief because he does speak to others about his own loss. What freaking planet are these people on, man? Joe Biden doesn't talk to anyone who's grieving out of some desire to share his own grief and make them feel better. I'd be surprised if he even feels grief anymore. The guy exploits his own son's death, and he exploits his wife and his daughter's death, and he's been doing it since they all happened. I mean, the guy took his oath of office from his kid's hospital room while they were grieving their freaking mom. And obviously, it's no wonder that Hunter's so fucked up when you think about all this stuff, but these bubble-dwelling leftists have no real idea. They honestly have no idea. They believe he's the consoler-in-chief, and it's unbelievable. Abby Phillips really was shocked to hear that Amtrak Joe, the poorest and most compassionate man in Congress, hasn't even answered the phone call of a dead Marine's family. She's blown away. Oh, I'm so sorry that was your experience. She literally doesn't know what to say. And this is what it's like to be the average Democrat. You know, when the words are from and about your guy or your side, you believe them. Actions don't matter. He says he's a family man, so he is. They believe it. They can literally see him discard and denounce a 7-grandchild, an innocent 4-year-old girl, and it doesn't affect them even a little bit. I mean, it's truly amazing. And I am so glad that I did not grow up to be like that. But sadly, there are millions and millions and millions of tolerant, accepting, and enlightened leftists who did. And guys, we have got to find a way to reach those people. It's just, it can't continue like this, man. But that's just my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.